This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. Today, I have a fabulous, wonderful co-host, Sarah Milton. She is the Director of Education for Christophe Robin. I met her on New Beauty Live, and now I get to have an even longer conversation with her here. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you, Amber?
I'm hanging in there. You know, it's like new year, new us. Let's hope that this one is better than last year.
Crossing our fingers, right?
How are you? I mean, do you have like any resolutions normally, or?
I'm not really a big resolution person. I'm usually kind of like, take it as it is, go with the flow, and just be positive. That's like my daily mantra. We always start in this house like a detox January, just to kind of get rid of all the bad stuff that we ate. Lots of wine over the holidays, right? So detox January in effect, and then all mind, spirit, body all together.
You know, we had a great, in December, we had a woman, Tatiana, from, she has this very healthy food company, delivery company called Eat Sunny. And she made a good suggestion of like, well, this year the holidays are a little bit different. There's not as many office parties. People may or may not be getting together as much. Start in December. And as much as like that, I wanted that to happen, absolutely did not. But I have started the Eat Sunny plan, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, what is it?
Hard. December's
What?
hard. It's hard to start something like that in December because, well, we might not, have the normal holiday routine and everything, but we were still eating and leading up to all of these celebrations, right? So if you didn't share a pie with your family, you were sharing it at home with yourself.
I mean, I've been baking cookies. I was like baking cookies every night just because. And then I think in some ways, you almost look at the holidays like, okay, I'm not going out to those big parties.
hmm
So instead of doing like one big blowout, you kind of do like a little bit, but you're doing a little bit every night.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, okay. And also it's the winter. And like, I think that like when it gets dark at 4 o'clock, it's really depressing. And then like, what else is there to do but to sit and eat and drink?
Have cookies and wine, right? That's our happy hour for.
I love it. One of these days, I want to have some cookies and wine with you in real life.
Totally.
Um, so you are the director of education for Christophe Robin. And I thought really, you know, we've been focusing on January on all of the things, right? So better help body, how to help our, mindset, how to help, we want this whole overall detox, and hair health is a big part. I mean, for most women and men that I know, hair is like a crucial part of what makes them feel good about themselves, right? A good
That's
hair day is a great everything else day.
that.
But really, when we think about hair, it's not just the strands. A lot of what your hair looks like and feels like comes from your scalp health. And
Definitely.
yeah, I know that Christophe Robin is like really focused on that. So for people who might not be familiar with the brand, can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about what the brand's sort of ethos is?
Yeah, definitely. So Christophe Robin is a celebrity hair colorist. He's from Paris. And, he really started the company just because he found a niche in the market from what he needed for his clients. So he was coloring all of these famous models day after day. And when you do these crazy color changes that often, it puts a lot of stress and a lot of damage to the hair. So he actually grew up on a farm, and wholesome ingredients were very, very important to him, both topically and ingesting these really healthy things for going back to mind and body and hair. So using these wholesome ingredients that he, grew up with, and then putting it together with what he really needed for his hair care is really how the brand originated. So the line is all about, hair care. We do a lot of treatments. You won't find any styling products or dry shampoos or anything like that. We really want to get down to the nitty gritty, dirty scalp, detox it, and then have hair health, healthy, beautiful hair for the long term.
Now, speaking of detox, I want to remind everybody this podcast is unsponsored. We're not branded. I brought you on here because for people who might remember, back early in right when quarantine hit, Ryan and I did a podcast on how to color your hair at home, and he introduced me. I had never heard of Christophe Robin, and he was like, "This is one of my favorite brands." He introduced me to the salt scrub,
Mhm.
and we were dyeing our hair, and he's like, "If you get any on your skin, this is going to take it off immediately. Do not worry." And I just fell in love with the product. So I was so excited when New Beauty Live had you on because I was like, "Oh, this is so kismet." But the scalp scrub, that salt scalp scrub is the bomb.com. I mean, yeah, you have it there. It's in my shower. My husband loves it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So can I tell
yeah,
you a really funny story about the scalp scrub and how it became what it is today? Christoph actually used to keep a little bowl of like actual cooking sea salt by his sink at his salon. And the reason why is because, we when we color our hair, your pores get filled with all of those chemicals and it causes a lot of itchiness and irritations. So after he's done with the color, he'd rinse and shampoo. He'd pour a little bit of this sea salt into the client's hair, focusing around her hairline where he colored, and just to kind of detox the scalp and get rid of all of those impurities to stop the itch. So then, it became really well known that this colorist was doing this, and it, kind of became a buzz. And he turned it into a shampoo. But besides getting rid of color, we use it for so many other reasons, which we'll talk about, which is, again, detoxing the scalp and getting rid of those impurities.
and I know, listen, again, I just want to drive this home because I think you guys at home trust me. I've used other salt scrubs. A lot of companies have them now. This one is by far my favorite. I am personally crushed though, because I started getting keratin again,
Mm,
and keratin and sea salt
no.
do not, I'm like dying because after New Beauty Live, I was doing this like once or twice a week because I don't like to shampoo.
Mhm.
I don't like to wash my hair. I don't like to do my hair. In case you can't tell, I showered today, but was like, ugh, who can bother with it? But I was loving this because it would get it like really. I felt like my hair was clean, but not stripped when using this.
Right.
Um, Talk to me, but then I found out that with the keratin, the salt.
Yeah. Keratin. So any shampoo, we do a lot of, like I said, treatments and a lot of cool, interesting textures like our sea salt scrub. So anything with a texture like that, you really shouldn't use with a keratin treatment. You have to be very, very gentle with a
I
keratin.
know, but my husband is loving it now. So I'm like, oh, I look at it in the shower and I'm like, oh, but I'm using the aloe hair mask
Yes,
because
perfect.
that's so. Anyway, let's talk about the salt scrub and like, why is it important to detox our scalp or for
Definitely.
our scalp? Yeah.
So everyone always talks about skincare health, right? And we always focus on face. But our scalp is really just an extension of our face, and nobody really associates that with hair care. You think hair care, you're thinking your strands, you're thinking keeping your ends, shiny and keeping split ends away. But when we talk about scalp, it's usually a little dirty, and nobody ever wants to talk about it. So that's where all of your issues come from, right? Like if you have any eczema or dandruff, any sort of irritations, whether it be from color, heat styling, anything like that, it really starts with your scalp. So taking care of the scalp is super, super important. Using a good shampoo, that's really what's going to give you your beautiful hair on the long term, because that's all we want, right? We don't want to do endless treatments and all of these time consuming things. Like I said, we're not big into styling or dry shampoos. And the reason for that is because in those you find a lot of silicones. And while everyone loves a good silicone from here time to time, for those really important Saturday night fun nights that we used to have,
Right.
that we will get back to soon, events and that sort of thing, you got to clean your scalp afterwards. So
Yeah.
Christoph always said it's like, going to bed with makeup on your face, you got to let your scalp breathe just like you let your skin breathe. And that's exactly what our sea salt scrub does.
And I love that, listen, for those of us who are in the Northeast, the colder climates, the Northwest, for those of us who are in the North or in colder climates in the winter, you know, we, I get the itchy scalp, right? I mean, my scalp gets dry. So it's not even about over styling or over shampooing. I think a lot of it is just weather
Heather,
related.
definitely every year. And I will be the first one to talk dirty about scalps. I get a lot of dandruff, right? It's just like you said, we live in the north, New York especially, we get super dry, super flaky, especially if you color too, sometimes that can dry out your scalp. So the good thing about the sea salt scrub is that, yes, it's going to kind of get rid of all that. Those little sea salt crystals get in deep, but like you said, it gives you a clean feeling, but without stripping your hair. Similar to the ocean, you go into the ocean, sea salt water, you come out, your skin is like really glowy and you feel really great. Same effect on your scalp.
I mean, another thing that is totally sort of been ruined for me now that I know that like keratin and any sort of sodium chloride do not go. For some reason, I thought it was sulfates. Isn't that embarrassing? Like I used to get it once a year and I thought it was the sulfates and keratin weren't good, but it's not. It's the sodium chloride that's the.
Yeah. Yeah, it's any sort of foaming agent you really don't want to mess with the keratin because it basically just undoes everything that you did.
Okay.
So
Okay. So now let's talk about, once we have detoxed our scalp in terms of keeping things healthy,
mhm.
what are sort of the next step in, making sure that we're fortifying our hair, let's say?
Yeah. So actually, in our world, detoxing is kind of like the last step. So I'm going to walk you through,
Oh, good.
a
Okay.
whole routine on how to properly wash your hair, right? It's super, super common, but it's a very common misconception that people don't understand. And everybody that I talk to is like, oh my God, I've been washing my hair the wrong way my entire life. So I just wanted to walk you through a few steps on how to really, detox your scalp, get that clean feeling, but then again, the proper ways. There's steps to get there. And then how
Tell us. I'm like ready.
I know.
Yes.
Can't wait. Okay. So the first step is actually detangling. Something super simple. How many times, Amber, have you washed your hair and then have not even brushed it before you hop in the shower?
I never brush it before I hop in the
No.
shower.
You just take out your bun or your ponytail or whatever you have and you just hop in the shower, right? Super, super common. Christophe always says detangle first because
Okay.
that's what's really gonna, stimulate your scalp. It's also going to help the natural keratin that's in your hair and to help distribute the oils from your scalp down to your ends.
Okay.
Um, what we have here is our boar bristle brush.
Okay.
So, Christophe again recommends using boar bristle because it actually mimics the keratin that we have in our hair naturally.
Right.
So as you can see, they're all different length bristles, and that's going to evenly, distribute, evenly brush your hair and get all of the strands in your hair. Flip your head over. Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, I see you doing this motion.
Yeah.
So you want to do it upside
Want to
down.
flip your head over, and I would totally demonstrate, but my hair is curled today for you.
You look gorgeous. You look gorgeous. Right.
If I brush it, I'm going to look like a dog. This also gives a ton of volume. So it's a really amazing little tool.
So the boar bristles, because I know like that is sort of like the gold standard of like your good brush. Do you absolutely need that? You really think you do?
I've been using it for years. I am
Mm-hmm.
not a fan of the plastic. If you don't prefer all boar, or maybe you want to get rid of away from all plastic, you can kind of do a mix between of plastic and boar, but really get used to the boar bristle. It's so much better for your hair. Once you use it too, you'll also realize it doesn't tangle. Like sometimes, when you use those plastic bristles, they kind of get uh, twisted around the bristle and you get all knotty. This one doesn't. No, no, not.
So honestly, like if we are making an investment, and I
Mhm.
mean, how much is a board? But they're not cheap, but they're not expensive,
No,
right?
our brush runs for $100, and honestly,
Okay,
it's guaranteed for life. As long as you take
right,
care of it, wash it gently.
yeah.
It's so.
And
What
it's a
about
tool that you're going to use every single day, so worth the investment. Okay, got to add that to my list.
yeah.
Fair.
Before you hop in the shower and wash your hair, turn your head over, start on the ends, end with your scalp to ends, and really detangle and get your hair nice and prepped for your shampoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's step
Now,
two?
step two is the shampoo, right? Now, everyone thinks you glob your shampoo, do this, and then you do this, right? Wrong. You want to start with a little bit. A little bit goes a long way, especially our products. They're very heavily concentrated. Start with a little amount, distribute into your scalp. Don't worry about your ends. And then you want to add a little bit of water and gently massage the shampoo into your scalp. So using your fingertips, circular motions, and just do your scalp, right? When you add the water, the shampoo is going to run to your ends. the reason why when you shampoo like this, it breaks your hair, more prone to split ends that way, and it does, more damage than good.
Yeah, and for the majority of us, the majority of us probably aren't going weeks without a shampoo. So, I know that, listen, when I was young, I had to wash my hair every single day. There was like a misconception of what clean was. Now that I'm older and I realize that that's not the healthiest thing, it's
No.
up here. It's up here that you're going to get the greasy, that you're going to get the itchy. And right down here, you don't want to dry out all the ends. So, and you're probably not that dirty.
No, and Christoph actually recommends washing your hair once to twice a week,
Love
believe it.
this man. Love
So
this man.
you are
Love
on
him.
point when you said, I don't wash my hair. I don't like to wash my hair. You are doing great. Perfect. Perfect.
Can I ask you this? So, recently, I got a Peloton.
Mhm.
And so while I have you there, for people who are exercising a lot, now, what is it something that you get in and maybe just kind of rinse is better, or maybe just use like a little tiny bit, don't do a full shampoo?
So, side note, I grew up in a hair salon. My mom was a hairdresser, and we talked about this all the time when I was growing up because when you're a kid, you're sweaty, gym, soccer, all of this. So I would always do a little bit of shampoo on my scalp, and then just really rinse. Leave your ends, leave them wet. Obviously you want to style afterwards. If you absolutely feel like you need something, mask your ends. You can do a little
Hmm.
shampoo on your scalp, mask your ends.
Right. Okay,
Um,
great.
but definitely not necessary to wash every day.
And what about for people who have, really oil? I mean, some people just have more oily hair, finer hair
Mhm.
texture. I know my husband is like, I have to shampoo every day. And in reality, he does. What do you
Yeah.
recommend for those?
I
Just,
mean, to be honest with you, my husband's the same. He's very fine hair.
mhm.
We have a really great men's thickening paste, which is a similar texture to the scrub, and it really gets in there and gets all of those impurities off the scalp. However, when you're a guy and your hair's shorter and that you tend to be a little more oily, I would say if you can use a little bit of shampoo each time. But
Right.
really, for guys, I get
Yeah.
it. I'm totally there. It's more for us women that have the longer hair, and we don't need the shampoo on here as often.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. Okay, so thank you. So now I've learned two things that I've done absolutely wrong my entire life: not brushing upside down, and then, well, I do use a little bit and get it in,
Mhm.
and then I feel like if my hair's really dirty, sometimes I'll do a little bit more. Maybe
So
that's
a
not the
lot of people also feel like they need to wash twice. Just get a good shampoo, and really, Christoph recommends like in the shower, massage your shampoo in for 1 to 2 minutes. So spend
Oh,
the extra time massaging the shampoo, and then just rinse really, really well, and you'll be as good as 5 shampoos, I promise.
and here's what I love too, because sometimes, some of the other brands, like I consider Christophe Robin like a luxury hair care brand.
Mhm.
They might be on the pricier side than something that you'd find in a mass market. But again, if you have to use less because they're concentrated, in the end, it's going to last you just as long. You're going to get, sorry, not going to last you just as long. Your money's going to even itself out because it will last a lot longer, if you have to use less product.
Exactly. Yeah. Less is more for sure. And what the great thing about us is if you're little worried spending $53 on a shampoo treatment, we offer travel sizes. So
Right.
$20, try it out, see if it's something that you like. And
I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with your hair care line. So after we've brushed and shampooed once, now when you're talking about shampoo, is the detox shampoo a different step, or is that what you can
so
use? Okay.
great question. So we actually recommend using the sea salt scrub once a week. Again, if you have any sort of your events, or you're trying to get rid of styling products, or you use styling products every day, go ahead and use it up to 2 times a week, but anything more than that, not necessary.
Right.
Now, for those who are more irritated scalp prone, I'll say, so dandruff, eczema, that sort of thing, we have a really great purifying shampoo, which is in that same line of the scrub. So it's still that purifying line, but it's a good daily alternative. So if you love
Okay.
the scrub and you want to try something else that maybe you want to, inter mix in your routine throughout the week, purifying shampoo.
Okay.
So
Are any of the shampoos okay for keratin hair or no?
yes, all of our shampoos are, except for, like I said, anything with texture. So not the scrub, not the volume paste, but absolutely our liquid shampoos you can absolutely use.
Yay! Okay, great. Good news. Okay. And then after we have now shampooed, condition?
Next step is you want to condition, yes, but you only want to focus on your ends. So
Yeah.
opposite of our shampoo, opposite of our shampoo and our detox, our scrub, you want to focus your attention to your ends because that's where we need it. We have
Right.
natural oils on our scalp. You definitely don't want to apply, especially if you're fine hair, oily, scalp prone. You want to concentrate more so on your ends.
And then using that boar bristle brush is going to help bring the oils down the
Definitely.
hair shaft. Great. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we always recommend, a conditioner or a mask. Like I said, we're treatment based. So we don't do a lot of conditioners. Christoph always felt like conditioners are just a quick fix. They don't have time to penetrate. So what we have instead are masks mostly or treatments. In sticking with this purifying line, I did just want to show you guys that we have this really cool detangling gelée, which is
Okay.
a really great step after either the purifying shampoo or the scrub because it has a ton of sea minerals in here to really like fortify your hair, strengthen your hair, and also your scalp as well. So
Okay.
very lightweight texture. It's the as potent as a mask, but super lightweight, and it's just going to melt into your hair.
So do you apply this, but just on the ends, like a
Just on the end.
conditioner? Okay. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
if you feel a little extra dry or a little extra like you need something on your scalp, it because it's so lightweight, you could use a little bit of this on your scalp and just massage it in. We say it's kind of like a scalp treatment and a mask in one.
Okay.
But if you're, again, tend to be a little bit more oily, then stick with just your ends.
So now do you ever recommend, I know that we're supposed to do the end, but do you ever recommend, well, I guess you just said it. If you get really dry,
Yeah.
occasionally you can rub it into your scalp, just
Yeah.
not all the time. Uh,
Sometimes you just feel a little extra itchy, a little extra dry. After a color, for example, you're a little itchy,
yeah.
put a little on your scalp.
I have to give you so many props. So when we did New Beauty Live, the product that was featured was the Aloe mask, instant mask. And so my girlfriend came here and uh, she was like, my hair's really dry, and I was like, you need to try this out. She was like, I won't do it. She's got so much hair. She was
Mhm.
like, I can't sit in the shower for like I've got no patience for a mask. And I was like, no, 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 no.
Mhm.
This one is instant. And it was like, ah. She also loves the brand. So it was like a win, 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 win.
Yeah.
And I've been using it. It's great.
The only masks I would say in the line that we have that you really need to like sit and wait are those color treatments.
Hmm.
I know that you did one of the color treatments with Ryan in your
In
podcast.
podcasts.
Yeah, you did the gray coverage. So of course that obviously you need to wait, right? Like a color treatment, and then we have these shade variation masks that the longer you wait, the more enhanced your color will be. So those are the only ones that really take time. Um, Something else I would recommend too, especially winter damage, if you're not going to condition, to do a mask. We have this amazing regenerating mask. Have you tried this yet, Amber?
No, I have not.
Okay, I promise I will hook you up with one of these. You have to try it. It's amazing. But it's super, super thick. It's absolutely like a hair mask, a true hair mask, but it's instant and you only have to keep it in for like 2 minutes.
That's what I love too. Oh, and I can see it's like so thick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
The
thick.
aloe one is really nice because it is, to me, it has like that texture of like a conditioner, but
So,
it does feel like your hair, and it feels like it literally, they call it the melting mask.
yeah,
It does. It feels like the mask is melting in. I also like the scent. It's not like overly
yes,
powerful. It's got like a nice, clean scent to it.
natural. We try to be, as natural, naturally sourced as possible too, going back to our whole ingredients and all of that.
And so then what do we do after we're out of, so we've now brushed,
Hmm.
we've shampooed with just a little at the scalp, we've cleansed or conditioned our ends. Do you like, I'm like in the shower.
I love it. Yeah.
Um and when we get out,
Yes. The drying process.
yes.
Big misconception, right? So try to stay with me on this one. You're going to think I'm crazy. And I didn't bring a towel with me to demonstrate, but you get your towel and you twirl it to make it nice and straight, twist it, flip your head over, and then flick your hair back and forth. and then run the towel down. So it's naturally detangling your hair without using a brush, because
Okay.
wet hair isn't so great, can do a lot of damage as well. So it's going to get rid of all that excess water and detangle all at once. Try it
What
and
are you now? I got last actually it was like last Christmas. I asked my
Mhm.
husband to get me this. What do you think of the wet brush? Are you not a fan? I love it.
I
You
know,
hate
I
it.
know. Okay, as long as you're being super gentle, I would say go ahead. Use caution while using it. Use caution, but try the towel method first. That way, it'll detangle as much as possible without using a brush.
And
You can
then,
also think,
I no, I know because I know it's bad, right? And I'm somebody who, for people who've been listening, like I've lost patches of hair before, so I need to be really careful. The other thing I'm doing right now it's like a no no, which I know is a no no. It's wet, and I threw it back in a bun.
mhm.
Right, bad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely don't want to do that. But listen, I know we're all crunched on time sometimes, and it happens. This is just, your routine that you should try to get in the habit of. You're not going to adapt to everything all at once. It's going to be,
Right.
getting your mind set for the new year. Try a different step each week and see how you feel.
So then, okay, does he feel like for people who don't want to dry your hair every day? Well, you would know this. Do you think that like do we air dry it? Like, what's the best way? I don't know because I can't sit around with a wet head forever. So do you
No,
do you
definitely.
recommend drying it or
Yeah. So definitely use a heat protectant, something with a little bit of a heat protectant, seal your ends, help your color. We just launched this amazing regenerating serum, which is like all in one. Whatever you need it to be, it is. So that has a little heat protectant in it. You can put it on dry or wet hair.
when you're doing those heat protectant, either whether it's a spray or
Mhm.
a gelée, like you're mentioning,
Mhm.
is it or a serum rather? Is it just the ends? Because you said to seal the ends, or do you do it up here too?
So you can do it all over. I always say ends because that's really where that's where your
The
damage comes.
damage is okay,
That's
cool.
so ends and then baby hairs.
Yeah,
That's really where you want to concentrate.
got it.
If you think about it, any sort of product that you're just kind of glopping on here is going to stay here. And that's
Right.
where we need it the least. We need it everywhere else.
Gotcha. Okay,
And
so
focus
focus
on,
on the ends.
yeah.
And then in terms of like drying it,
You can air dry if you don't want to air dry, or if you're going somewhere, totally okay to heat style. Just make sure your blow dryer is not on a hot setting. You want to
mhm,
make it to be a little bit cooler. And again, if you're going to brush, then use a gentle brush like our boar bristle brush or anything like that. Focusing
okay,
first.
amazing. And like, how quickly do you think that we can sort of turn around our scalp health?
Yeah. So just like I said, getting into these little routines and just trying to remember, oh, wait, I shouldn't just glob shampoo all on my head, or oh, I need to detox my scalp. Um, it's a quick turnaround, little things that help in the long term. I'm not one for like instant like fad things that are like might be cool one week and then might not be good the next week. We like to do things on the long term. We're very French way of life.
Does he have any are there any like supplements are such a big part of the conversation these days. I've been taking biotin forever, but are there any things that he recommends or does he not recommend it?
I'm so happy you brought this up because this is my last step in our hair health.
Oh good, okay.
Yeah. So supplements, I'm sorry, everyone's going to hate me for this, but no, there aren't any magic supplements that you really should be taking. It all comes from diet.
Okay.
So he's a huge believer in eating really well. He actually said in an interview that your liver is sorry, what am I trying to say? It's linked to your scalp. So believe it or not, anything internally always comes out externally, right? Like we never really think of whole body together. But the liver, because it is linked, sorry, to the scalp, you want to treat your insides well. So what does that mean? Eating lots of omega 3s, um,
Mhm.
fish, nuts, flax seeds, Greek yogurt, broccoli. That's all going to help with your scalp, your hair health, and also with the shine. People don't usually
Yeah.
relate the two together, but all of those like fatty fishes and nuts, those are all going to give you great shine for your hair.
And if you can't eat that, you think that like taking the supplements isn't as like taking like an omega 3 is
I mean, it's not as good as getting the wholesome ingredient, and
Sure.
that's the same with everything, right? Going back to diet and health. But if you're in a pinch and you're like, oh, I'm not going to be making fish this week, then go ahead and, I see no harm in taking an omega here and there.
Okay. By the way, Ryan, used to say all the time, he would say, I knew what my client's lifestyle was the second that they sat down in my chair.
Mhm.
He's like, they didn't have to tell me anything, but I knew if they weren't eating right because it just was reflected in their hair, or overstressed, or, smoking too much or drinking too much.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Everything is linked.
Sarah, thank you so much. So, is there anything else that we need to know in terms of like really trying to help our scalp this year?
So just invest in yourself. Take the time, really, really take the time in your shower. Give yourself a nice scalp massage. Remembering to massage with your fingertips, not your nails, because you don't want to, open any wounds or anything on your scalp, create any openings. Fingertips, circular motion, and then just kind of pull your hair out a little bit too. So
Okay.
scalp massage, gentle shampoos in the shower, but taking the time, rinsing very, very well, and just taking care of yourself.
I feel like this is a time too when wellness, it's there's one good thing to come out of the pandemic. I do feel like that wellness has gotten a whole new people have taken a whole new lease on life in terms of their wellness. Where it used to be like something like, I've got to shower, I've got to get this done, I got to go get my nails done. People now are like, no, I'm going to be really mindful of these activities and use these as small moments in my day,
Mhm.
or small moments, a couple times a week to really take a deep breath. We're talking about 2 to 3 minutes at a time, of 2 to 3 minutes with this, 2 to 3 minutes with your hair,
Yeah,
with your conditioner. It's worth it.
definitely. 100%. I agree with that.
And so, if people want to know more about Christophe Robin, where can they go?
Our website has it all, christopherobin.com. We have a blog on there with some really cool tips and tricks as well.
I
So
love the
definitely
blog. Yeah.
check it out.
And, you can also purchase the products.
We have partner with luxury retailers, so we partner with Neiman's and Saks, Sephora, Bluemercury, and then you can also find us at a few of salons. I know that we partner with amazing salons across the U.S. More to come as well.
Oh, awesome. And thank you. I actually got the idea for this podcast from reading your blog. So it is a great blog. And thank you so much, Sarah, for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Hopefully our scalps will all be looking phenomenal in 2021. If you guys have questions that you want me to pass on to Sarah, I'm always happy to do that. Email me at hello@artbeautypodcast.com. Maybe there's something you want to hear, a product you want to know more about. Let me know. I'll make it happen. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Art Beauty Podcast. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.